Thanks for joining us on the CBN News Channel. I'm Lori Johnson. It looks like we're heading for another budget showdown in Washington. Republicans want to cut $61 billion in spending. Democrats only want to cut $6.5 billion. As John Jessup reports, Republicans say the Democrats just aren't serious about cutting the massive budget deficit.
It's a new legislative week on Capitol Hill, but lawmakers are returning right back to an issue they have yet to resolve: the budget.
Our priorities are out of whack.
Congress avoided a government shutdown last week by passing an extension to fund the government through March 18th. That bought lawmakers more time to negotiate, but so far, they don't appear to be any closer to an agreement. Republicans say Democrats and the White House aren't serious about cutting spending and tackling the deficit, and Democrats are countering with the same charge.
I don't believe what we have from the House is a serious economic plan. I think it's a ideological, extremist, reckless statement.
House Republicans are proposing a plan that would cut about $60 billion from the federal budget and fund the government through the end of the fiscal year. Democrats put forward a measure that would cut far less, only $6.5 billion in spending. They say the GOP plan is too extreme and appear unwilling to compromise in adopting more cuts in areas they consider important.
I can tell you personally, I'm willing to see more deficit reduction, but not out of domestic discretionary spending.
Both sides say given the $14 trillion federal debt, everything must be on the table. But Republicans say Democrats aren't offering much in terms of ideas.
Now, Dick says everything has to be on the table, but under their plan, nothing's on the table.
President Obama is calling on Congress to work together on cuts that won't slow the economy's recovery. But the divide between the parties makes it uncertain just how soon they can get it done.
We are only 7 months away from the end of this fiscal year, and we don't have a budget, which is kind of ridiculous. No company could get away with that.
But his critics say the president isn't doing enough and is squandering an opportunity to make some fiscal headway.
This is the perfect time to do it. We control part of the government. They control part of the government. It could be done in a very, very effective way.
So far, the only area of agreement seems to be on avoiding a government shutdown. But with differing opinions on budget priorities and little time before the next deadline, even a government shutdown appears to be a topic that's up for debate. John Jessup, CBN News, Washington.
Oil prices jumped again today, up to about $107 a barrel as violence escalates in Libya. Oil has now reached its highest price since September of 2008, and it means more pain at the pump. Gas prices spiked up 33 cents in just the last 2 weeks. The Lundberg survey reports that's the second biggest increase ever recorded in a 2-week span.
I need a break from gas prices. It's tough. It's tough for families these days.
It's going $4 by tomorrow. You know, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
It was about $3.19 and today $3.49. So it's a dramatic jump, I'd say.
The Obama administration is considering tapping the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to try to lower oil prices, but some critics say that may not have a significant impact, and it may not help the president politically.
This decision would be, I think, have a bad odor to it, and so he's probably weighing whether the politics will go north or south, and we'll see.
Political pressure is mounting against the president. Many on the right are calling for the U.S. to do more drilling here at home to reduce our dependence on foreign oil. Libyan dictator Muammar Gaddafi is ramping up his attacks against rebels there. Rebels advancing towards Tripoli were met by ground and air attacks. They're battling for control of several cities, both west and east of the capital. Rebels say Libyan troops fired on civilian areas in the town of Bin Jawad, causing a massacre. Meanwhile, in Tripoli, Gaddafi supporters took to the streets professing their loyalty to the dictator. The U.S. has moved military forces closer to Libya's shore, but is not pushing for a no-fly zone. Tea Party favorite Michelle Bachmann is criticizing President Obama's response to the crisis in Libya. She told David Gregory on NBC's Meet the Press the administration didn't act quickly enough to get Americans out of the country.
I think that it's been troubling the way that the president has responded. For instance, in Libya during the unrest, we had at least 600 Americans who were there. The Chinese were in the process of removing 12,000 Chinese, while Americans were waiting for an American response to be removed from Libya.
One American who found himself caught on the ground in Libya was a 23-year-old basketball player from Houston. When he found out the U.S. government couldn't help him, he took matters into his own hands. For this 23-year-old who goes by the name Kingsley, playing basketball is a passion.
A lot of people don't get to play after college, so it's basically a dream come true to be playing still.
His dream played out for exhibition teams through the International Basketball Federation. He went to Finland and most recently Libya. That was just 2 months ago. But the dream ended when tensions there mounted.
If it happens here, we're all stuck, you know what I mean? I don't know Arabic. I can't speak. I don't know what to do.
Kingsley knew he had to get out when the news came that Gaddafi was sending warplanes to bomb the city of Benghazi where he was living.
There was no phones, no internet, so I couldn't make any calls or anything.
With his life on the line, he followed a group of Brazilian contractors to a port in Benghazi. From there, they boarded a British naval ship with another group of Americans, and together they made a 36-hour journey on rough seas to Malta. But Kingsley was not home yet.
Basically, they tell us that their job was to get us to a safe haven and kind of like you're on your own.
Kingsley was able to make it back to Houston via Cairo, Turkey, and New York. But now he wonders how many other foreigners like him are still stuck in the chaos. And ships continue to ferry thousands of evacuees from Libya, and Libya's borders are still flooded with people trying to escape the fighting. Also in the news today, is the radicalization of Muslims living in the U.S. the biggest terror threat to America? New York Republican Peter King thinks so. He's holding congressional hearings on the topic this week. His challenge, focus on the threat of homegrown terrorism without attacking peaceful followers of Islam. Heather Sells has more.
There is a growing consensus among both parties and the country's top security leaders that radicalized Muslims are a huge threat to the U.S. Even Homeland Security Chief Janet Napolitano had this to say about the latest terror plots here.
An increasing amount of hometown or homegrown terrorist activity, particularly by individuals who have become radicalized and associated with al-Qaeda or Islamist terrorism beliefs and techniques and tactics.
Congressman Peter King, a Republican from New York, heads the House Homeland Security Committee. On Thursday, he'll hold a hearing to look at radicalization and how the Muslim community can help law enforcement combat it.
Right now, there is an effort, and this isn't just me saying this. Eric Holder said he stays awake at night worrying about the numbers of young Muslim men who are being radicalized.
Congressman Keith Ellison, a Muslim, is defending the hearing, but both he and the White House have urged King to take caution.
It's absolutely the right thing to do for the chairman of the Homeland Security Committee to investigate radicalization. But to say we're going to investigate a religious minority, and a particular one, I think is the wrong course of action to take.
What both sides can agree on and what the hearings will focus on is how Muslims can help law enforcement to combat radicalism, just as they have already in a number of cases. Heather Sells, CBN News.
Muslim radicals recently canceled plans to march on the White House to push for Sharia law in America. But their call to replace America's laws did fire up a bunch of opponents. And as Ephraim Graham reports, that group had a lot to say about the dangers of Sharia.
The Muslims' demonstration fizzled, and all that was left were the counter-demonstrators, who still took time to blast the idea of instituting Sharia law in the U.S. All said, there's no place in America for Sharia law.
Sharia is utterly inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States and poses a mortal threat to the republic that it protects, and that is absolutely a threat to all of us and the freedoms we hold dear if it is allowed to insinuate itself into our country.
If you want to be embraced by Americans, you must denounce stoning and beating of women and children. Americans are never going to tolerate that, and we're never going to accept Sharia law. We have our own law. It's called the Constitution. And if you can't abide by our laws, then go back where you came from. That's how I feel.
We have a Judaic-Christian principle that underlies our country. And as such, the political system mandates that all people are treated equally under the law. Sharia mandates that people are discriminated against under Sharia law. Muslims are better than kafirs, non-Muslims. Women are inferior to men.
Many Muslims insist Sharia law is superior to man's law because it comes from Allah.
Opponents of Sharia say they've been accused of bigotry and Islamophobia, but they say that type of name-calling is only meant to silence any opposition to Islamic law in America. House Speaker John Boehner says he's launching a legal defense of the federal law against gay marriage. The Defense of Marriage Act defines marriage as a union between a man and a woman. President Obama has refused to defend the law against a legal challenge. Attorney General Eric Holder says the president made that choice because he thinks that the law is not constitutional. Legal critics say Obama is acting like a king, not the president, since he's ignoring his duty to defend all federal laws in court. Coming up, Healing Hearts. We'll tell you how one group is reaching across borders and religious divides to save the lives of children.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
These are the greatest stories ever told. Presented by Academy Award winner Charlton Heston.
Thus saith the Lord of Israel, let my people go.
Join Charlton Heston as he travels the sacred lands of the Bible.
I'm going to take you with me on a journey exploring the stories in the Bible and the ancient land where they happened. This is said to be the very garden. This, the very rock where Jesus prayed for strength.
Now the Bible comes to life like never before. Time Life presents Charlton Heston's The Bible.
And Moses cast the tablets from his hands.
Praised by critics, this landmark TV series is now available on digitally remastered DVDs. You'll be inspired by the greatest stories from the Old and New Testaments, enhanced by historic works of art. Get Charlton Heston Presents the Bible on 4 DVDs for $49.99. Call with your credit card and save $10.
And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son.
And that's not all. You'll also get a free bonus DVD that takes you behind the scenes. And if you call in the next 10 minutes, we'll ship for free. That's an additional savings of nearly $7.
For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory, forever and ever.
Call now to get Charlton Heston's The Bible on 5 DVDs for just $39.99. Call in the next 10 minutes and we'll ship for free.
Now therefore go, and I will be with thee.
Call 1-800-748-5167 to order Charlton Heston Presents the Bible for $39.99 and receive free shipping when you call in the next 10 minutes with your credit card.
Nine-year-old Esther was in congestive heart failure and given only a few months to live. That's when a unique Israeli group stepped in to save her. That little girl from Africa has joined 2,500 Christian, Muslim, and other children who've now been helped. Julie Stahl has more on the group called Save a Child's Heart.
These children look happy, healthy, and active. But just weeks ago, each one of them faced death. They needed open-heart surgery, and they got it through Save a Child's Heart in Israel.
The idea behind Save a Child's Heart is to provide life-saving heart surgery for children from developing countries.
That was the case with Esther, a Christian from the Maasai tribe in Tanzania. Rheumatic fever damaged her heart, and she couldn't get the necessary help in her own country. She became the 2,500th patient of Save a Child's Heart.
Her heart was huge. She was very limited in a very simple task. Even simple walking, it was difficult for her.
Sister Angelica runs the children's home where Esther lives. She heard about the program from a volunteer who just happened to be riding the same bus from Kenya to Tanzania. Angelica contacted Save a Child's Heart and learned a team was actually heading to Tanzania to climb Mount Kilimanjaro 2 days later. One of the doctors, Dr. Godwin Godfrey, is Tanzanian.
Actually, for me, it looks like a miracle.
They met Esther, saw she needed surgery urgently, and 2 months later, she was in Israel. Dr. Lior Sasson operated for hours, reconstructing the valve in Esther's heart.
Now she can live a normal life. She would have to take preventive medicine that her valve would not be affected again.
Executive Director Simon Fisher says more than 50% of the children treated have been Palestinian from the West Bank and the Gaza Strip.
We believe that Save a Child's Heart has a very positive message which it sends out from the Middle East, from Israel, about people working together from different nationalities and different religions for the best of our children.
Part of the program's goal is to train doctors from developing countries, like Dr. Godfrey, who will work in Israel for 5 years.
This training will be one of its kind for my country, so hopefully when I go back, I will actually start the open heart surgery also for the young children.
Before and after surgery, the children live in this house, usually with a parent or caregiver. House mother Laura Cassis says the change in the children is amazing.
You see the children going home healthy. You know, you see children that sometimes can barely walk, practically running to the gate and to the minibus to go to the airport, and they're smiling and they're looking forward to going home, and you know that they have a future.
Less than 2 weeks after her surgery, Esther was dancing with her newfound friends and sang us a song she sings at home.
I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul.
Julie Stahl, CBN News, Holon, Israel.
Up next, revival in Rio. We'll take you inside what's being called a miraculous move of God in Brazil.
What makes the miracles of Jesus even more miraculous? Standing where they happened, in Israel. Come explore Jerusalem, where Jesus opened blind eyes. Visit the hills of Galilee, where Jesus fed the multitude. Stroll through Capernaum, where Jesus lived and taught and healed. To learn more about standing where it all happened in Israel, visit www.goisrael.com. Come visit Israel.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Call our toll-free number or visit our website. A free idea kit and DVD will be sent to your home so you can discover all the benefits of owning your own pool. Compared to traditional pools, endless pools are simple to install, easy to maintain, and economical to run. Our precision-engineered pools enable you to swim or exercise against a smooth current that adjusts to any speed and ability. Endless pools are perfect for year-round health and fitness, relaxation, and family fun. Our free idea kit and DVD will show you how easy it is for the whole family to enjoy a pool right in your backyard or home. An endless pool or an endless pool swim spa can become a showplace for your home. Call our toll-free number or visit the website to find out more about endless pools. The free idea kit will show you just how easy it is to be able to swim at home.
What makes the miracles of Jesus even more miraculous? Standing where they happened, in Israel. Come sail the Sea of Galilee, where Jesus calmed a raging storm. Experience Jerusalem, where Jesus restored a paralyzed man. Explore Capernaum, where Jesus spoke a centurion servant into health. To learn more about standing where it all happened in Israel, visit goisrael.com. Come visit Israel.
New figures show Christianity is booming in Brazil. In fact, more than half of Brazilians will be evangelical Christians by 2020. That's 109 million Christians out of 209 million citizens if the trend continues. So many Brazilians are already born again that they're influencing all areas of life, even helping lower the divorce and alcoholism rates. Paul Strand visited and saw how a vibrant, spirit-filled Christianity is transforming Brazil.
Brazil is a land in revival right now, a land where tens of thousands will flock to a single church on Sundays, a place where millions will gather in the streets at massive worship events. It's a place where belief in miracles and healings is high, prompting some to say that's why they're experiencing so many. With so much faith loose in the land, Randy Clark's Global Awakening organization has made Brazil a particular target for what they do. And what they do is train up average Americans who want to move in the miraculous.
This is the cutting edge of Christianity. Dozens of Christians paying thousands of dollars to come thousands of miles just to pray for healing for people in a foreign land.
Ian Patterson saw instant healing for a lady who'd had constant pain in her joints for years.
She had these shooting pains down her legs and just extreme joint pain all over. So she just began to do toe touches and began to just jump and dance around and shout. And she was just pogoing, you know, dancing up and down. It was obvious that God had done something for her. And she was just weeping this whole time because she'd been in such pain and the pain was completely gone.
Wendy Anderson wouldn't quit praying for a woman who'd been deaf since birth, who began to slowly hear during the prayer.
She started to hear even more sound, a lot more clearly. So I asked her about what percent, and she said about 80%. I asked her if she wanted it to be 100% healed, and she said yes, yes. So we prayed again and asked the Lord to come with more power, and she was healed. Miraculously, 100% healing.
Michael Shea is a pastor who often works with Global Awakening in Brazil.
When people that know they're sick become well, they want to know the source. And when they find out that Jesus does those things, they want Jesus.
In a world where it seemed communism and humanism might sweep away religion in the 20th century, the swelling numbers indicate the biggest movement of the 21st century is spirit-led Christianity.
How can being spirit-led trump, a cold religion, or trump humanism, or trump atheism? It's because of the demonstration of spirit and power.
It shows the compassion of God. It gets people like flies. The people who've been healed won't shut up about Jesus.
And the people of the cities are anxious to show their gratitude to God. When the popular worship team Diante do Trono came to Brasilia, a city of 1.5 million, 1.2 million people showed up to worship with them. In Sao Paulo, 2 million came out in the streets to help them tape a worship video. And these transformed believers are learning to use their vote as well as their witness.
Surveys show the neo-Pentecostals and charismatics tend to be more politically active and have more unshakable convictions than their secular counterparts.
Spirit-led voting, along with Christians dedicating their lives to God and worshiping Him, have led to many changes in some Brazilian cities.
Crime rates go down. You can see political changes happen. The Lord touches the city government and decisions are made to help that are beneficial for the people of the city.
This is Belo Horizonte, a city of some 3 million people located in Brazil's interior. Here many people feel the revival fire burst out that's now sweeping Brazil. And that's why they call it the manger of the revival. And that's because of churches like Lagoinha Baptist, holder of the dubious honor of being the first Brazilian church booted out of the Baptist Convention back in the 1980s because the church was enthusiastically embracing and moving in the gifts of the Holy Spirit. Pastor Marcio Valadão says God has still blessed, though.
In 1998, there were more or less 5,000 members. Today, we have surpassed 35,000.
Lagoinha Baptist itself sees some 150 people won to Christ every Sunday at its 7 jam-packed, joy-filled, colorful services. Valadão's daughter, Ana Paula, leads worship at the church.
This is something that only the Holy Spirit can do.
But it's what the church and its members are doing outside the church walls that reveals why this revival, this movement, could come to affect an entire culture. 4 years ago, Lagoinha Baptist bought a local cable TV station and has now turned it into a 24-hour-a-day broadcasting powerhouse to the entire nation, featuring some 40 programs aimed at reaching every kind of possible audience.
We try to take the message of the gospel to every single person.
The network's manager, who doesn't accept a salary, says as soon as any money comes in, the network uses it to create another new show.
We have children's shows, we have music shows, we have preaching, Bible studies, we have shows for women where you have all kinds of even cooking.
Even CBN's involved in the action, with its own staff of Brazilians producing their own version of the 700 Club.
The church today is understanding that they must go beyond the four walls of the church.
The place for the salt is not inside the salt shaker. In other words, the church needs to be in every area of society.
And now these people dedicated to the kingdom of God are beginning to shape the world around them. Paul Strand, CBN News, report.
Millions of women worldwide love Bare Minerals.
This is smooth, it's nice, and it covers. I like that.
Only Bare Minerals looks like beautiful bare skin, while it covers whatever you want it to. And now you can get our latest kit with our totally new, totally spill-proof Click Lock Go Foundation for over 75% off retail. Our new kit comes with Bare Minerals Foundation in the shade that's just right for you. Warmth for a healthy glow. Mineral Veil, the ultimate finishing touch, and Bare Minerals Flawless Application Brush. Call now and get 3 full-size gifts worth $57.95 free. Purchased separately, you'd spend over $120. Our original Get Started kit was a great deal at 2 payments of $29.99. But now you can get all this for just 1 payment of $29.99. Save over $90 and get a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Call 1-800-376-4174. Ask how you can receive this handy compact. Call 1-800-376-4174 now.
It's impossible to close an open can with a pop top. Open cans spill in the fridge. What a mess. And open cans lose their fizz. What a waste. Introducing Bottle Top. It turns your can into a bottle with the snap of a cap. Open metal cans can't travel. What a waste. Bottle Top turns your can into a bottle that's perfectly portable. You can't do this with an open can. Bottle Top lets any soda keep its carbonation. Look, bugs are gross, but Bottle Top protects your drink from insects. When you're done drinking, just pop it off. Rinse under hot water and reuse. Bottle Top keeps drinks from spilling. Now get 6 colored bottle tops for just $10. Call now and get 6 more. Plus, we'll send you the can top popper. Just pay separate shipping and handling. You get 12 amazing bottle tops, plus the can top popper, all for just $10.
Call 1-800-377-9176. But hurry, call now. We're giving away a bonus 6 more bottle tops and the can top popper with today's orders. That's 1-800-377-9176. Call now.
In Hawaii, scientists are warning there could be a hazardous eruption from the Kilauea volcano. A crater floor collapsed over the weekend, sending eruptions 65 feet into the air. The volcano is one of the most active in the world and has been continually erupting since 1983. Well, people from around the world recently gathered in Texas just hoping for a breeze to blow through. The Zilker Park Kite Festival is an annual event that draws thousands of kite flyers every year. But this year's festival wasn't just a time to enjoy the beautiful spring weather. For some participants, it served as a way to honor their former homes.
We're all very excited. We're all from Taiwan. We all love flying kites. I remember when I was little, I want to fly, the higher the better. It's very seldom for us to see our national flag, abroad. So this is going to be a very touching moment.
This is the 83rd year for the festival, the longest running like it in America. Speaking of rites of spring, don't forget that this Sunday is daylight saving times. Put that clock 1 hour forward. That's all the time we have for this hour of the CBN News Channel. You can find more of today's top headlines, along with our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. And you can also stay up to date with CBN News through Facebook and Twitter. We hope you'll join us next time, and have a great day, everyone.
We created this website as a place where kids can learn the Bible in a whole new way.
Kids will love Superbook.tv. Their games, the ability to create your own personal Superbook characters. We even have a place for kids to listen to music on Superbook Radio.
Superbook is CBN's animated series that teaches the Bible through the eyes of 2 friends and their robot sidekick. We're going to tell stories all the way from creation to Christ's return.
The website also teaches kids life lessons. Parents can spend time online with their kids learning about the Bible.
Superbook and Superbook.tv are entirely gospel-centered, and by supporting it, you'll help bring God's Word to children all over the world.
We're reaching a new generation with the gospel of Jesus Christ. Together, we can give today's kids the truth of the Bible in a fun and exciting way that will change their lives.
Visit superbook.tv today.
I had chased the record deal for years with no results. And then I let it go and I turned it over to him, and then there it is. I want people to know that you can't be bad enough for God to not love you or forgive you or to give you a second chance. He doesn't give you the right to judge you, so stop there and learn to love you the way he loves you. And then you can enjoy life more than you've ever enjoyed it before.